Hey,
We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Bearded Men of Real Estate Show. Dan, this is episode number 109.
wow.
We've been around a long time. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
That's Dan. I'm Ray. We're both real estate agents who happen to be bearded that are across the world, depending on which side you go, which way you go, right?
We're global.
We are global, have a global audience. If you're watching this live, speaking of audience, you could comment and let us know that you're here. We'd love that. Then we could talk about you or your comment. We try to do this live every Wednesday around 12-ish Central Time. Dan time, which is the West Coast, is at 10. I had to do the Northeast, South, anyway.
And then the cheese toast is 1 p.m.
The cheese toast is 1 p.m. So, and then I don't want to leave out Denver and the mountain region.
Well, they're an
11.
hour ahead.
Yeah. Hour ahead of you, an hour behind me.
Yeah, hour ahead of me. I have clients moving there from there right now. So everything we schedule, I'm like, okay, I'll see you at 6, but 5. Okay, cool.
It's really hard to do. So I was trying to set an appointment with a client who lives in Florida and they have a house here. And he was like, yeah, call me at 10. And so I call him at 10 and he wouldn't answer. And I'm like, man, I keep calling you. You're not answering. Like, what's going on? He was like, no, you're calling me at 11. I'm like, I gotcha. Yeah.
There's that.
So dumb. He totally forgot too. He was like, man, what's going on?
Why isn't this dude calling me when he said he would?
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks everyone for joining the show. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Zillow and Realtor now selling homes without real estate agents, which is kind of weird that Realtor.com would sell houses without realtors. But that's the situation that we're in. So we're going to talk about that in the deep dive. We also are going to talk about pending home sales, mortgage rates, and if we're going to discuss if there was an actual pullback, if we could be seeing a sign that less people are going to be buying, or what all this means. But before we get into all this stuff, Dan, would you tell people what this show is actually all about?
You know, I'd love to. Now, when Ray and I met about 3 years ago, remember 3 years ago?
Barely.
I don't remember 3 days ago. So I had an idea for a show because I am, in fact, a bearded man of real estate. And when I met Ray, I noticed something very interesting about him.
What was that?
His favorite animal is a platypus. Did you guys know that?
Duck-billed. Only the duck-billed.
Only the duck-billed. Yeah, actually, that's my favorite animal. But no, I noticed that Ray also had a beard, and he actually had an idea for a show, the layout for the show, and it's the same layout we use today. But I also noticed that he loved giving value to his clients up front, just like I do. So it's about being more as an agent, but also being more as a human.
Yeah, inevitably, as we go through these stories, a lot of them are going to come up in your conversations with clients throughout the week. So if you need to just kind of, if you don't want to watch, although you would miss beautiful beards, if you don't want to watch the audio, you could just put it or watch the video. You can put it on the audio, listen to the background. I know a lot of you are doing that now. So if I even called out the lurkers, we'd have several of you saying, no, I've got you on in the background. So we appreciate that. But we do love your comments on the show. So if you got comments or anything to share, part of the reason why we grow in doing the show, and part of the reason what makes this show great, is that when you guys comment on the articles and give us some additional information about what's going on in your market.
Yeah, and even if we are calling out the lurkers, we don't like to call people out. But even if you're just commenting to say, hey, I'm not lurking, I'm watching, let us know, because we love the feedback. That's part of the reason that drives us and drives the show. So please do your best to comment. And obviously, thanks for watching.
So should I show it?
No.
You want me to hold it?
Yeah, we have a thing.
Okay, we have a thing. There's Paige. Hey, Paige, how are you?
Hi, Paige.
Good morning, crazies. Good morning, girl.
We are crazies.
Are you ready to do headlines?
We're doing our best, by the way. Both Ray and I are kind of on fire about a lot of different things. So we're doing our best to stay cool, but it may not happen. Yep. Oh, what's that? Whoa.
Oh,
well, it's just it must be hot there. That's one of those neck coolers.
Melissa, how are you? Yeah. That's nice and cool. More on this later. Jessica. Hey, Jessica. How are you? Hey, Eric. Hey, guys. Thanks for checking out the show. Are you ready, Dan?
Yeah.
All right, first up today, pending home sales. Dun, dun, dun. Pending home sales surge. So we've been talking about the real estate market and what's been crazy, but pending home sales go up and away as realtors, meaning the National Association of Realtors. I almost said National Organization of Realtors. That'd be NOA. NOAA.
That's ours. Remember, we're starting our own.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just
that would be a good name for it. All right. So the National Association of Realtors raised their estimated sales figures for 2020. In June, they rose 16.6%. These are the actual sales figures since May. That's a 6.3% jump over June in 2019. That beats the estimated monthly gains by over 4%. So the previous forecast for 2020 was that sales would be down 7.7% and new home sales up 1%. Now the National Association of Realtors are anticipating sales of existing homes to decrease 3% and new homes to increase 3%. So there you go. We have a bunch more anticipated or predicted sales. This quote is from Lawrence Yoon, who's NAR's chief economist. He says, "It is quite surprising and remarkable that in the midst of a global pandemic, contract activity for home purchases is higher compared to 1 year ago. Consumers are taking advantage of record low mortgage rates resulting from the Federal Reserve's maximum liquidity monetary policy. The main issue is still supply, which fell 18% annually in June to just 1.57 million, which we also discussed last week. One of the things that we talked about last week, and maybe mentioned again in one of the other articles, is that we basically need to double the current inventory in order to satisfy the current demand. And it doesn't look like that is slowing.
Yeah, and it's we have an article coming up that kind of suggests that it may be, but only from a certain part of the pool. But yeah, Melissa says it the best. She says, I think that is off considering the madness that is happening. And that's exactly what I was going to say. And what we did,
it's still off. You mean the 3% decrease in home sales, the 3% increase in new home sales?
Yeah.
You think those numbers are still off?
Because that was May. These are actual hard numbers from May. Think
That's
of
true.
your June and your July, dude.
Yeah. But if there's a second wave, it could slow. Maybe they're kind of taking that into account with the numbers.
Yeah, and maybe. And I think, hey, we got Christina checking in.
What's up, Christina? Yes, that's what she said.
But we covered it last week with, it's kind of a, hopefully more people will start selling. But what's the good news, I guess, was that home starts and home builders, the sentiment is up. So hopefully that, but we got 1.8 million homes to build in like 2 months. So
I thought you said the home cinnamon was up. I'm like,
just homes love being sold and bought.
Okay.
You ever see those pictures of the homes? I don't know where it's from, like Sweden, where they're kind of giving you the side eye.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're not giving side eye anymore. They're excited.
Bam. Christina said, I'm totally checked in. Good. All right. So home prices.
So they rose at a slower rate in May. So this is, again, numbers are actually closed sales now, and they can actually account for the numbers. So home prices continue to rise in, it's gonna be May. I'm really sorry, guys. I have to do it when I just have to. They continue to rise in May, likely due to the brief but sharp slowdown in home sales as the Rona hammered the nation. Nationally, prices rose 4.5% annually in May, according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index. That is a mouthful. That is down barely from the 4.6% gain in April. Home values increased in all 19 of the cities. So the article from CNBC.com does break down all. This is the same one we cover I think we cover this one about monthly, Ray. It breaks down the different regions. So if you want, go to CNBC. You can see all the different regional breakdowns. But I thought it was more important to hit that home price values increased in all 19 of the cities that data was available. But the gains accelerated in just 3. So this is where it gets interesting to me.
Adam Johnson so that's going to be the headline, that home prices are down.
Exactly. So
home price gains slow.
Well, no, it does say, so it says right there that home values increased in all 19 of the cities. That's awesome. But gains only accelerated in 3. What? So gains gained, but they didn't accelerate. So my little comment to myself is way to tamp the positive there. Like, because a positive headline won't get you any gotcha. So but this is a quote from Craig Lazara. He's the managing director over at S&P Dow Jones Indices. More data will obviously be required in order to know whether May's report represents a reversal of the previous path of accelerating prices or merely a slight deviation from the otherwise intact trend. And then he continues, even if prices continue to decelerate, that is quite different from an environment in which prices actually decline. So that's what I wanted to ask. Are we anywhere near, or is it possible to go towards a decline, or are they just going to keep slowing, or is the acceleration going to keep gaining but at a slower pace? Is that how we're saying it?
That's right. So Christina M. Smallhorn says the Rona doesn't stop the home shoppers.
It doesn't stop the shop.
Adam Johnson said, what the heck?
Yeah, so home price gains are slowing their acceleration. It's always that home price. It was gain and then gains slow. So you've always gained. Literally in the entirety of this show, home prices have gained. And now they're like, well, we can't keep saying home prices are gaining slower. So now it's accelerating slower.
The home price gain acceleration has slowed.
Yes.
So Paige has a good question. She says, anyone seeing appraisal issues in your areas with some home prices rising too fast? Yes, we are.
Absolutely.
There's been several that are off because, those prices are from 6 months ago. And here you have people trying to outbid the home today. So yeah, we've seen that.
And
usually a couple of months out of the year, but it seems a little more this year.
Yeah. And if you've ever watched the show or ever heard me talk, I'm always of two minds about everything. So I totally understand it. But when you're staying right around where the market values are, and then you come in 15 grand low, then that's an issue. I've had one came in 35 grand low, one came in 25 grand low, but I've also had one appraise at 30 grand above where we were asking. So, but we were also asking, at an aggressive price, but we were still 10 grand below where so they only went up about 10 grand, but I understand their hesitation. They don't want to create, they feel like, and we actually had one appraiser say to us, I feel like this is going to come back on me. A, that's not how this works. And B, they're not just giving you values just because. And I think it's a little bit, I'm going to throw some shade because again, I'm on fire. I think it's a little bit irresponsible of both agents, the buyers and the sellers agents, for just okay, the house is actually worth 500. I'm going to offer you 550 and then hope it appraises. Well, that's no.
Or maybe the buyer's offering 450 and hoping it, or 550 and hoping it doesn't appraise.
Right, but then that's where
in some cases where the buyer's like, well, I'll offer whatever because the appraisers are going to tamp it down.
Yes, and that I know that scenario exists, but that's a silly scenario to take. Maybe it's beneficial for the buyer because they'll just renegotiate. But what if they don't? Then the seller has to either cancel or now renegotiate, because it's never a real price. These are just numbers where these are offer prices. It's not an appraised value.
Valerie has a comment. She says that didn't happen last time. Are you talking like last time, 2008? Last time?
I think she means when prices, they were allowed to go. I mean, accelerations were crazy back then. I wasn't in the market, but Ray was. Chris was, if he's watching.
Melissa Marr said, but that's where you get into the problem. Vince
Kleinecht. I think we're nailing it. Kleinecht.
No, it's got to go. You got to hit that K in there. Kleinecht.
I think it's. I'm going to go silent. I think it's silent.
Silent K. All right, Vince. Is it a silent K or not silent K? Anyway, he said. Is it like knife? Like necked, like knife, knife. All right. He said maybe a pre-listing appraisal would be appropriate. I've done that twice now on a couple of my listings, and it appraised for a little higher than I thought it would. And so we were able to list it. We actually sold it just under what they appraised for. But then the other agent was like, "Are you sure it's going to appraise?" I'm like, "We actually have an appraisal on hand, so yes."
So now here's the thing, though. So in that scenario, Ray.
Valerie said yes. No one convicted an appraiser of anything. Yeah, that's true. It was all on the banks, not the appraisers.
Yeah, and that's where, like, when on the one that came in 35 grand low, he was like, I just was really worried he's going to come back to me. Like, they're going to go, if the market goes and pulls a full-on Susie Ormond or whatever her name is, they're going to go back to this one appraiser and go,
yeah,
Craig, You ruined the entire market. How dare you?
Craig.
It's always
Link to
Craig's fault.
Susie Orman video right here. So Christina Smallhorn said, if the home doesn't appraise at value, the buyers must come up with the extra amount. She said, so that's when you say in the instance where I said, well, maybe they're going to offer 550 and then hope it doesn't appraise. This would be the response from the selling agent.
Okay, so let's go back to the pre-listing appraisal, because what I just want to ask your point of view from a listing side. So you have an appraisal that says, cool, it's worth 280.
Yep.
But now I'm going to come in with my buyer and my lender and want my own appraisal, right?
Sure, yeah.
But at least it gives me confidence that it was appraised at that value. And if it does come in low, okay, so I'm thinking through this as we go. We can rebut it with another actual appraisal. So let's go. So the next one that Christina's there. So not a lot of buyers have that cash to cover though. So that would be silly for that seller to take that offer knowing, and I'm offering on one right when we end the show. I'm literally going to hit send on an offer and we're offering at about the max, but there's also some that are 20 grand lower. So it's very possible. And we don't have the cash to cover. So we're offering where an appraised value could go. There are comps for it, but what I've seen is appraisers right now are only using 3 comps and they are giving weight to all 3 of those comps. It's a little bit crazy.
So yes, in short, we have a copy of the appraisal. We get the offer. The agent says, my client was just not really willing to go up that high because they weren't sure of the value. And I say, oh, well, I can assure you of the value. We have an appraisal on file.
And honestly, that would make me more comfortable. And I go, okay, well, I'll talk to my clients.
It also takes away their argument for coming in lower.
Right.
Or you can even list it. Let's say something appraises for 250. You list it for 249.9 under appraised value.
Under appraised value.
All right. So Clayton Fernando Estrems, who sent us an awesome article that we're going to get to in a little bit. He said, most of my buyers and sellers are willing to go higher than we think it will appraise. If it appraises, it appraises. If not, the seller drops. It's always the luck of the draw with the normal market.
So as long as he's having that conversation with them though, let's see what we do, but we got to understand the ramifications of doing this.
Yeah. You could get hosed if the appraiser just phones this one in.
Yeah. So and that's the other thing is they're doing a lot of desktop appraisals right now. So if your house is quote unquote special, not the kind of special I am, but like special and different from the market, and you need them to go see the house to really get the vibe on the house and see that it is different from those other 3 or 4 comps, they may not do that.
Melissa Mara said, I had clients be out and offer, spam risk. Sorry. She said, I had a client beat out an offer well over asking. The listing agent told me that it was such an insane number that she had them put it in the contract. This is exactly what Christina was saying. That should the house not appraise, the buyers have to bring the difference in cash to closing. No renegotiating.
Right.
Paige said, that's exactly what we're doing. Clayton said, man, I wish I was on the show for this part. I can go get Stan for this one. Oh my gosh. Look at it. It's Klein
Connect.
Klein Connect.
So
very good.
You were right in it's not
silent.
It's not silent. And then we both flubbed the last part there.
Yeah. Klein Connect. That's a cool, I feel like you should have, connect with Klein Connect or something.
There's definitely a marketable
marketing scheme in there. I'm assuming you're a real estate agent. Oh my goodness. Look at this spam risk right now on live.
That's me. I'm trying to call Ray.
This is Clayton. Okay.
Get me on. I want to fight with Dan.
Every seller thinks their home is special.
No, wait, what are we? Yeah. Well, what are we going to?
Oh, look, he's an appraiser. So Klein Connect knows exactly what's happening.
So Vince, when the market crashes, it's going to be all your fault.
Vince. Vince.
Wait, what does Clayton want to fight with me about? What am I?
He wants to fight with you. He wants to go against your, against your strategy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Clayton. We could bring you on towards the end of the show because we're going to talk about an article that you submitted anyway. So there you go. He said always is. All right. Let's go talk about forbearance. Loans in forbearance fall for the 6th straight week. Sorry, the headline last week was for the 5th straight week.
Yeah.
So forbearance is down again for the 6th straight week. We would anticipate a continued decline, as months ago many Americans applied for the product about the same time, right? So the big question is, what is happening next? The total number of forbearance fell for the 6th week to a low of 7.74%. That's the percentage of servicers' portfolio volume, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. So Fannie and Freddie's share of those forbearances were just 5.59%. And here's a quote from the article on Housing Wire that says, according to the report, the pace of borrowers exiting forbearance slowed last week as homeowners wait for a deliberation on the HEROES Act, which would grant a 60-day mortgage forbearance automatically if their mortgage became 60 days delinquent between March 13th and the day the bill was enacted.
Okay, hold on.
I know. All right, so let's process. I'll
Okay.
read it one more time.
Yes.
As a result, wait, that's a different quote. Sorry. According to the report, the pace of borrowers exiting forbearance slowed.
Okay,
so
hold
again,
on.
we have the
Pace of borrowers exiting forbearance.
The acceleration of borrowers exiting forbearance slowed. Okay.
So
as homeowners wait for the HEROES Act, which states if a borrower became 60 days delinquent between March 13th and whatever day this thing is signed, it would give them an additional of 60 days of forbearance.
Right.
Okay.
For free. Wait.
I don't.
So I have that question. So is it one of two things? Is it your servicer says, okay, you're in forbearance, you're good, and we'll figure it out this one. Now this is going to add another 60 days or another 60 days free that's not going to be added on?
Not clear. That's what I think we're waiting on the HEROES Act.
Okay, because we need to accelerate this.
What does HERO stand for? It's got to stand for something. Home.
I thought it was called HEAL Act. Oh, HERO. Okay, sorry. HERO is for mortgages. HEALS is the next round of stimulus.
HERO, HERO. So yeah, home equity restoration. I don't know. That's my go at it. What's it stand for? I'm not finding what it stands for. Maybe somebody can Google that while I'm doing this other stuff. All right. Anyway, we can go to that. Let me see if I got comments. Wait, we do have some comments here. Clayton says I was lying, or he wasn't calling. I was lying. Christina said I had 2 past clients that were on the forbearance program and they never signed up for it. So we talked about this. I was almost placed on forbearance just simply for calling to ask more about the program as a bearded men of real estate reporter / journalist.
We are.
I called and said, what does that look like? And they started telling me, and they were like, do you want us to put you on it? We just hit a button. I'm like, no. I also had a client that went to the website and there was a pop-up about forbearance and they clicked for additional information and it put them on forbearance. They didn't sign anything. They didn't say anything. Christina said they were trying to refinance and they couldn't because they were on a forbearance program. Yep. We had to wait an additional 30 days or something like that to close to try to get it out of forbearance. So it definitely became a headache.
So I actually did some investigative journalism right now. You ready?
Yeah.
This is the actual release. This
HERO?
is the debt collectors and provides reasonable forbearance for missed payments. So the HEROES Act protects consumers and small business owners and nonprofit organizations. Okay. Moratorium on all debt collection until 120 days after the Rona pandemic ends. Reasonable modification and repayment options. Following the moratorium, borrowers will be provided reasonable repayment options. The first one is for fixed payment loans. Missed payments will be added to the end of the loan, extending the loan maturity and allowing the same payment amounts with the same time period to resume after the crisis. So
basically the HEROES Act is just enforcing many options that the lenders were already talking about doing.
Yeah, talking about it, but not. It was always like, well, cool, I'm in forbearance and I can put it on the end or I can pay for it later or I can refi. But this says, here's what's going to happen. Good old
Wells Fargo is putting everyone on forbearance. Yeah, that was the company that my client accidentally signed up with.
They're just like, cool. What? Yeah. You want to know about forbearance? Cool. You're on it. No, I didn't want to. You're on it. Now you're on it again. You want to go, buddy? You want to go? I'll go. You're on it again. Sorry. Flashback.
So here's a question for you, Dan.
Yes.
Since we have the home price gains slowing, the acceleration off of forbearance slowing, what does this mean for the market as a whole? Are we seeing a pullback?
Okay, hold on. Home price gains accelerations are slowing.
Mm-hmm.
People coming off of forbearance
Slowing.
are slowing. So people are still in forbearance, but going on it slower than usual and coming off of it less accelerational. Okay. So lower weekly mortgage demand hints at a possible pullback by first-time home buyers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Forbearance. This is Ray's story. I'm going to go ahead and read my story.
Oh, is that mine story? Hang on.
No. I was on the wrong little window.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It's our producer's fault. With mortgage interest rates hovering near a record low, mortgage demand, especially from home buyers, is now significantly higher than a year ago. But there are warning signs that first-time buyers may be struggling to stay in the market. Now, this is another one from CNBC. So if you want more on this, head on over. Total mortgage application volume fell 0.8% last week from the previous week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's seasonally adjusted index. Mortgage applications to purchase a home were 2% lower last week than previous weeks. That's horrible, right? Right. Everything's falling apart. We're going to go into a sharp, the second part of the W right now. We're all going to crash, right?
Yeah.
But a strong 21% higher annually.
Wait.
Hold on. I need to go back so I can see Ray's face. Wait.
So
they pulled way back, and let's see. Let's make sure.
Here comes the crash.
A possible pullback by first-time home buyers that was 21% higher than a year ago.
This is terrible. It's terrible news.
So we would have to dip 21% and go into the red to have an actual pullback. You know how big of a dip that is?
It's clearly happening.
Home buyers are making up for the lost time last spring and appear to have a new urgency to move due to the Rona. Buyer demand for new construction, which we've mentioned on the show right here at the Bearded Man Real Estate Show, is especially strong as supply of existing homes for sale continues to shrink. A pullback on FHA purchase demand could be a red flag in the housing recovery. These buyers made up a strong 35% of closed sales in June, according to the National Association of Realtors. But that was before the Rona came back for a second round. So here's a quote, and this is from, this is the three dudes, Mike, Frat, and Tony. This trend, along with the fact that average loan sizes are increasing, indicate that prospective first-time homebuyers are being impacted more by the rising economic stress caused by the resurgence in Rona cases, as well as the uncertainty on how the next round of government support will take shape.
I'm going to put on screen right now, all of us, and I would just want to put one more headline here that is quite possibly a little more accurate. Mortgage applications remain steady amid continued economic stress.
Well, and
so that juxtaposed to lower weekly mortgage demand hints at a possible pullback. Okay.
By first-time home buyers.
Very specific.
But if you're a first-time home buyer and you've been tight on money, but you still have your job, you're still working, and now interest rates are under 3, you're jumping into the market. And by the way, there you go. It does break down. Was that the Housing Wire or was that the
Housing Wire one? Yeah.
It breaks down the total mortgage application. So refi, I don't know if Housing Wire breaks it down, but the CNBC one does break it down, and the percentage of refis are slowing, but that's obvious because, people either refied at 3.15 or they're now going to refi. But so it does break it down. If you want more info, go over to Housing Wire, go over to CNBC.
I would suggest Housing Wire. A little less sensational on this one.
Look past the headlines, please.
Yeah. Well, here's a good headline that I was shocked by. So one thing that I would recommend, I know we haven't done the picks of the week in a while, but there is something I would recommend called the National Real Estate Investor. NREI. And this article is from their website. I get their little magazine. It's a free print magazine that you can get, or you can get the digital version. I like the print version. It says U.S. home ownership rate soars to its highest level since 2008. I thought that was really interesting.
Dude, you could make it even more positive by ending that with during a pandemic.
During a pandemic. So the homeownership rate is up 67.9% in the second quarter, according to the Census Bureau. The rate for buyers under 35, so millennials, rose to 40.6%, which is
look at them doing something
in almost 12 years. We all know that the market. We all know that the market has beat expectations. There was a drop in renter households, which is interesting, of 7.2%. So it likely means that some renters did move in with friends or back in with family due to losing their job during the pandemic. The number of households owning homes spiked nearly 10%. So this is a quote from the chief economist for House, Ralph McLaughlin. It says that the mortgage rates are the icing on the cake for households that were thinking about buying. They found an unexpected opportunity during the worst economic downturn in America that they have seen since the Great Depression. So there you go.
And then go back there. It ends with a really good quote.
Okay, wait.
Right at the end there. Clearly, young households not only want to become homeowners, but they're actually doing it.
Yep, there you go.
And the numbers say just that.
Melissa Marr said I was a year ahead. Yep. Well, you know, that homeownership rate does take into account all of those purchasing kind of, you know, last year and the year before. Anyone under 35 who currently owns a home would be included in that. So really, I thought that was good news. It's really interesting. That means that there's a lot more equity out there, a lot more people owning their home than ever before.
You know what that means too, Ray?
What's that mean?
It means there's a lot of new basements that are ready to be renovated into income properties.
Airbnb, watch out.
They just threw shade at all of the millennials.
You know what else it means? As all these millennials begin to sell, do you think they're going to look for a real estate agent or not?
I honestly think they are. I really do. I think they're going to do their research. I think they're going to see past. Wait, did we move on?
We're headed there.
Do you want to make this a deep dive? Let's get some convo on this.
We'll do a deep dive on both these. You ready?
By the way, there's a new Bill and Ted coming out. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but do you guys know that?
I didn't know about this.
Dude, there's a new Bill and Ted's coming out. And if you haven't seen it, dude, I'm overly excited. I don't know why I think because we do that thing and that's not Bill and Ted, but it was kind of, I don't know. It popped in my head, but there's a new Bill and Ted coming out.
All right. So what's the story here?
All right. So let's go. U.S. homeownership. Okay. So realtor.com. We're avoiding copyright infringement. They've done a thing. So they've always done a thing. So first of all, Ray, do you remember when we owned like national associations of realtors? Does everyone know that? We used to own realtor.com. And I know it's realtor. But we all know that, right? That we used to own realtor.com.
Way back when.
Yeah. And Chris and Drea, my brokers, actually were some of their first clients back in 2003 and 4.
Hang on.
Huh?
LS Home Inspection said Bill and Ted 3. Paul Lynn has said neither of these guys said anything the entire show. You mentioned Bill and Ted, and they're all up on it. So I just watched the trailer. It looks interesting, dude.
Hey, dude, we gotta.
Okay, so
we gotta cover all bases here. And when things pop in my head, man,
news and entertainment.
Yeah,
so
when I go,
and then we sold it, and it was mind of dumb.
Kind of dumb, mind of dumb.
I think mind of dumb is good. It was a dumb mind that sold it.
If you ever watch my personal lives, I get very scatterbrained. I try to focus on this show, but hey, Bill and Ted's popped in. I had to go with it. All right. Realtor.com announced last Thursday the launch of its sellers marketplace, quote unquote. a new platform from the real estate listing portal where home sellers can get information on their options, including selling to an iBuyer, sale leaseback, which we've covered on the show, or listing with an agent, the actual right way to go. I actually wrote heavy eye roll. Here we go. So at launch, sellers can be connected to OpenDoor, which we can get back to it, but I think they're also partnered with Redfin, Ray. So now OpenDoor is not just OpenDoor. They're OpenDoor. They're partnered with Realtor.com and Redfin.com. But at launch, sellers can be connected to OpenDoor, EasyKnock, HomeGo, and WeBuyHouses.com, or opt to go to the open market with more options to come in the future. This is a quote from David Masters. He's the director of product management at Realtor.com. So it's his job to make this sound like it's a good thing. Sellers Marketplace is a one-stop shop for home selling information, resources, and connections. He said that in a statement. Now, while Zillow, Realtor.com's top competitor in the real estate portal space, has leaned heavily into buying and selling homes itself to position itself as part of the transaction, Realtor.com is opting to take a different approach. Masters continues, rather than become an iBuyer ourselves, but we do offer that. We're not that, but we offer that. But don't call us that. We just offer that. Rather than become an iBuyer ourselves, Realtor.com aims to be a trusted and unbiased, although we have our own agents. We're trying to be unbiased, but we have our own agents. Sorry, I'm deep diving it as I go through it. Unbiased source that points consumers in the right direction and enables them to make the right decision for their home and their family. Really? Really? Can we just break down that?
Can we just break down the sentence that they say, rather than becoming an iBuyer ourselves?
Just stop.
So that they considered becoming an iBuyer themselves?
Like they thought about it.
They thought, you know what, we all these realtors are paying us money to be on this platform, and we're using the Realtor license
and logo and everything.
Well, Samara said, now that my ears are bleeding.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna add somebody to this stream. This guy's a chotch, but I'm gonna add him anyway. Hey,
what up, gents? How are y'all?
I'm good, dude. How are you doing?
Good.
Choose your character.
Rocking and rolling.
Choose your character.
Isn't this a fun article?
Rodell said, wow, I walked in at a perfect time. There you go. So that you mentioned in the comments, you said, this article, did I post the one that shows NAR making around $2 million a year from the deal? No.
So that was one that was actually, it was Inman like several years ago. I think it was posted like back in 2016. I ran down this rabbit hole. So obviously, they're giving our rights away.
Oh, you did.
Realtor.
You were posting. Yeah, you were posting. I love going through old articles. Yes.
Yeah.
So are they still profiting?
That's what I read. It looked like they're still making money from it. So they're bringing in money. I don't know what they're doing with it. That's a great question.
And then they're selling our listings back to us.
Correct. And then, but my biggest issue with it is, here you are, a realtor, trust in a realtor. We take care of you. But then now the name realtor is being assigned with, these iBuyers that we know take advantage of the consumer. That's my biggest issue with it.
So I want a realtor. I'm going to obviously go to Realtor.com and not get a realtor. But they don't know they're not getting a realtor.
And get taken advantage of that.
That's my biggest gripe with it. Like, I don't care if someone comes out with a service that does iBuying. I don't care if somebody comes out with a service that we buy houses or whatever. That's totally fine. But if you go to a site who's licensing the name Realtor, then shouldn't the licensee of that, like, could NAR not say, hey guys, you can't actually do that. We're going to pull our license agreement, and now you no longer can use the word Realtor.
That's what they should. That's what they should do anyways, and copy what the Houston Association of Realtors does for their website, which is a Zillow killer. Honestly, it's a Zillow killer.
Let's look at that live. What is the Houston Association?
HAR.com.
realtor.com. This is a fantastic consumer-facing website.
And I think we're the only city in the entire US that has something, to this caliber. And I wish they would just copy it and make that realtor.com.
So this is your association.
Correct.
Yeah, this is the association website. It kind of looks like a Placer website, right?
Yeah.
But it is directly attached to the Houston Area Realtors Board.
So is this where you log in to get to your MLS?
Yeah, we kind of go through that route, but this is also the consumer version as well.
Wow.
So like if you start typing in an address, you could actually pull up properties. So put in 16015 Laura.
He's about to promote his own listing.
Well, I mean, I've got it pulled up.
Just
It's the only
kidding.
address I know. Click on
He's
that
gonna
one.
tell it-
So
he's
this
gonna
shows you the consumer side. And why do we not have something like this for, NAR?
Yeah, I
So
totally agree, because
simple,
then you can have a
pretty.
nationwide database of.
So it's my listing. You only see my contact information. And then it's also set up to where if I pull up anybody's listings and I send it to one of my clients, it only has my information on it. It doesn't have the list. It'll have the listing agents on the bottom. But it's me sending it to a client. So I'm staying in contact with them,
Well, and it's
something like this is really
transparent
cool.
too.
It's very transparent.
It's got these little share buttons, like circa 2002, but it's still cool.
Why does NAR not take their stuff back and boom, have this?
Yeah, I've said for a long time that I think the National Association of Realtors needs to do a national MLS. Like, I don't know why we haven't done it. Well, I do know why we haven't done it. It's politics. It's all the local politics and the local
monies.
lady at the board that's been there for 86 years that doesn't want to give up control of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You could, if you go to, do some investigation journalism, Wikipedia, not always the most trusted, but it says that Realtor.com is licensed to operate by the National Association of Realtors. So
It's
does
an
that
agreement.
So, which I mean, I guess I knew, but I'd never looked into. So, are they making money off of it right now?
Yeah, every year.
Oh.
It's licensed. So
Wait,
now,
so that makes that logo even worse. They had way extra money to spend on it, and they did that.
You should throw a couple million in it.
The question is the National Association of Realtors going to do anything about Realtor.com?
No.
$20 says it doesn't.
So, commercial properties, how you can build an entire commercial building on land that's leased for like 100 years.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder if that's kind of what's happening with Realtor.com, where they essentially leased the use of the license. Right. So we're not going to sell you the domain. We'll sell you the domain and you can use it. But here's the licensing agreement. You have to go by that agreement. I wonder how much control they have over that, or if they have to pretty much let whatever's being built on there stay.
I'm trying to find details about it to see what the.
I mean, it'd be interesting if we get somebody on the show that's from, NAR to talk about this.
Maybe I want to look into that, don't I?
Maybe
I think that would be amazing. Start asking the hard questions.
Book them, Dan. Let's do a real interview. Let's get one of these lights on them.
Don't tell them to watch all the shows because they may not come on.
Yeah. Hey, don't. The shows are long. You're fine. What we do is we interview. We just want to get an update.
We're gonna get an new logo.
So they launched in 1995, served as a closed network for members of the national. So they started way before I thought in 95. It relaunched in 96 as a public website displaying property listings. Since then, Realtor.com claims to have become the largest website in the United States for real estate listings. And in 2016 was valued at $2.5 billion by Morgan Stanley. So NAR, dude, they're pumped.
Take back control.
They were probably sitting back in those days going, oh, this interweb thing's going nowhere. Let's just sell this off. We'll never use this.
So Lisa Perk is a realtor. Actually, Lisa Perk is a real estate agent here locally that is not a realtor. She said, I love not being a member of NAR, but admittedly not being able to get on the MLS is the downside.
Well, I think that's the reason why a lot of people are realtors, right? Because we have to have access to the MLS in most areas.
Some might claim anti-competitive behavior. Some
Well, maybe, but no one has ever come up to me and go, oh, because I am a realtor, but no one has ever gone, wait,
yeah,
you're just a salesperson. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I get that they market and they say that we're more trusted and we have code of ethics, which is all true. But when you really deep dive it, like we're doing here on the Bearded Minute Real Estate Show, you're seeing that they're just profiting off of us. And I am.
Well, the average consumer doesn't know the difference.
No,
they don't have a clue. Ask them, just ask random people and they'll go, there's a difference between a real estate agent and a realtor. I thought it was the same thing because it's used interchangeably.
There you go. There's a good interactive post on your timeline, y'all. What's the difference in a realtor and a real estate agent? Consumers only. See what answers you get. No, I'm gonna sip the tea. Okay. So Laura Walker, she said, isn't it called a monopoly? Kind of like the anti-competitive behavior that we were talking about. You could maybe. I think there is.
Wait, what does she mean?
So
us having to be with NAR?
Yeah, when I was talking about the real estate agents don't have access to the boards, the MLSs, and all that kind of stuff. And she's saying, wasn't that called a monopoly? You could also say that like the Houston area, right, is in total control. And so I'm sure that they are laying the groundwork for lawsuits because I'm sure you guys have been sued because y'all don't send stuff to Zillow, right?
No, we do.
You
in
do?
fact, I don't even know if the only way we don't send it to Zillow is if the office checks boxes in the very beginning saying they're not going to send it.
They're not going to.
Is it a per listing basis or all listings by that office?
It's all listings by the office. It's either all or none.
Oh, okay.
I know there are some boards around the country that don't. We are on a per listing basis, so we could say yes or no per listing, depending on what the seller wants. But I know there are some boards around the country that don't send anything to Zillow. And I want to see what kinds of lawsuits, if any, happen. If nothing happens, then it makes sense to me that National Association of Realtors, which they should have done this a long time ago, but somehow make another website, I guess. Maybe they could use the Realtor.org website for good instead of for news releases and put a bunch of listings on there and an MLS that actually makes a difference.
Well, and we
take the rights back. Take the rights back for Realtor.com and use that.
Well, if it's licensed, I mean, they'd have to wait till the contract's up. But if it's licensed, then we still own it.
Shouldn't that all be accessible to us as realtors? Shouldn't we know what the licensing agreement of our realtors are?
Yeah.
Tim Macy says he's out showing, so he can't tune in.
But he can check in, and we appreciated that, Tim Macy of the Tim Macy Show and #WhiteBox.
Tim is a longtime commenter. I don't know if he's ever watched the show, but
he comments.
I appreciate you commenting. Lisa Frank said, still have to take the COE stuff at the CE. Oh, the certificate of eligibility stuff at the
Code of Ethics.
Oh, Code of Ethics stuff.
Code of Ethics and continued education.
Because it's separated in our Arkansas packages. How interesting.
So, there you go.
My buyers don't like our Carmel's interface. So Carmel's is our MLS. She said she likes Trulia. Yeah, I know. I use, our Boomtown website. That's what our team uses. That's what is consumer facing. And Boomtown just added a new app so it's even more user friendly. I don't send anything from our multiple listing service anymore because it's in the almost 10 years that I've been doing this. It's been the same. Yeah.
The same. Like imagine if Zillow was the same since 2007 or 2012. No, they've made changes.
So, Tim said, buyer, we just lost out on a house offer $20K over list with no contingency and lost. This is not normal for my market. That wouldn't be normal for any market, but it does go to what we were talking about earlier, Tim. Get that backup offer accepted because you never know if that's not going to appraise.
Yes, and I just opened escrow on one that went where they started at 420. They were in escrow at 455. I'm like, it's not going to appraise. Call me when it doesn't. I wasn't an a-hole about it, and then it didn't. So our 436 offer was accepted, and now we went in and we didn't have to have an appraisal. Our lender waived the appraisal.
Dusty Martin's checking in. She says the licensing agreement should be available to realtors. Absolutely. And that contract needs to be terminated at the end of term. Her buyers hate AR MLS as well. It's like 1995, just won't die.
Just won't die.
Ryan Bokro says, ask Clayton, people here love HAR. It's virtually impossible to get a consumer to use the agent's website here.
Agent websites are pretty much dead out here.
Interesting.
Because the app's even better. Like, I don't like the web version as much as the app.
Do you have people sending you like links and stuff from Zillow still, or are they pretty much devoted?
Rare. It's whenever they come in from out of the area. So if they're coming from Dallas or Austin or another state, they start with Zillow, and then I explain to them, hey, Zillow might take several hours to a couple of days to update, where HAR, it's 5 minutes to 15 minutes when I put something in the system. So it updates really, really quickly. And then my clients are sending it to me before I even looked at my hot sheets and saw it come on the market.
Lisa Perk said MLSs act like they are the only place to access listing information, but consumers hate their wonky and not user-friendly interface. Yes, this is the issue that we keep hearing. So, Clayton, I don't know if you can or want to stick around for this, but we're about to get into the Zillow half of this conversation. So we talked about Realtor.com selling without realtors. Zillow Forever has claimed that they are super friendly to real estate agents.
But they're not.
Well, are they?
No.
Why aren't they? Wait, I'm changing our ticker right now. All right, so let's go with
BNN.
Zillow Buying. Okay, so on the Zillow front, they're talking about buying without realtors. So let me bring up this article. This is actually the news release itself from Zillow themselves. Let me see if I can widen it so y'all can read it better.
For a safer, easier home. God damn it.
Yeah, it's much safer. All right, so Seattle, coronavirus, pandemic, everything's bad. People want to self-tour. All right, this summer.
Scare people and then give them your pitch is what they're doing.
Right. This summer, I feel like I should do it in like the announcer voice. This summer, Zillow is bringing its innovative self-tour feature to Zillow-owned homes. Dun, dun, dun. So as we've been talking about, historically speaking, there have been a lot of moves that Zillow has made in the iBuyer space to which they are buying the properties themselves and then flipping them. So this new technology would apply to homes owned by Zillow. It says bringing innovative self-tour feature to all Zillow-owned homes. It allows shoppers and agents to use Zillow app to unlock and tour unoccupied for-sale homes in their timeline. On their timeline, not in their like timeline like a stream on Facebook, but on their own time, minimizing the person-to-person contact. While piloting the feature in Phoenix, self-tour homes sold 6 days faster than homes without the feature. Zillow accelerated the technology. Hang on, let me finish. Okay. Zillow accelerated the rollout of the self-tour technology to help shoppers and agents follow social distancing recommendations and feel safe while touring a home in person. Zillow's survey found that a majority of U.S. adults, 55%, say they are less comfortable touring an occupied home during coronavirus outbreak. Oh, well, okay. So then it goes into the 3D tours and stuff like that.
Okay. So they're doing two things. They're using a global pandemic to scare people and launch a new platform.
I mean, that's sensational that you would say it like that, Dan.
No, it's true. I don't care. I'm being sensational. I'm doing a gotcha headline right now. Dan attacks Zillow on the Bearded Man Real Estate Show. That's our new headline. So Ray keeps putting that thing on. I wonder what that is. So it's a scary time to go. You don't want to go walk through a house with a bunch of people and possibly get the coronavirus.
The COVID.
So we're launching a new program that helps you. And also, what else are they doing? They're using numbers accelerated by the pandemic. And during this hot market to say it sells faster with this new thing that we launched, not OpenDoor, not all these other ones that we launched during this time where numbers are already selling faster and days on market or less. By the way, 6 days less isn't much of a big stretch. Zillow.
Christina Spallhorn says Zillow has never been pro-realtor unless they were stealing their money. Michael Elizabeth Rodell said, I hate Zillow. Oh my gosh, I'm converting so many more buyers now that my face is covered with a mask.
Wait, that's Mike, obviously.
Melissa Mara said, it's not wrong though. Get all fired up, Dan. Dusty Martin says 6 days faster than other Zillow owned homes, which tend to sit on the market here.
There you go.
Price.
So if we let some homes sit for 100 days and then sell these other ones faster, we'll just compare those two. Boom.
Yeah. Boom.
Drop your price and boom. We sold it quick.
They want in data. It's terrible. So big issue I have with this is it's the same. It's actually not a innovative technology. It's the same technology that I think OpenDoor has been using. I think when Amazon was trying to roll out their real estate, they talked about using this. I'm not giving Amazon access to my house, but it's a little lock that you put on the door and then people can go in and out of your house. There are other companies that offer this for even occupied homes, but Zillow is putting it on unoccupied homes that are listed and owned by Zillow themselves.
Same with, now OpenDoor. Yeah, they do. They own them as well.
OpenDoor doesn't.
So, so Kevin Benzinger says they say no commission, but their fees are more than commissions would be. Yes, that's true.
Bingity bingity.
So let's go to the real issue, Clayton, and I want to get your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
There's no commission, but there is a giant fee.
But isn't the real issue with this, and the reason why they even have a foothold in this marketplace, is because agents aren't answering the phone to show the property, and so it's more convenient for the client to roll up on their own?
Well, I think we're in a economy now where, our general consumers sitting there, and as soon as they want something, they want it right then and there. So, oh, my agent has appointments today. I want to go see that house right this second. So I think that's what they're utilizing. They're sitting there going, hey, your agent's busy today. They can't show you until 1 o'clock. Come look at it right now. And then don't even work with your real estate agent. We'll give you a deal on it. So I honestly don't like it at all. I just people going into houses randomly. You don't know what's happening. If you live next door to that Zillow house, and then you're out there and you see random people going to this house and you don't know what they're doing or what they're up to. And I've heard of parties in those houses, and the OpenDoor ones. Yeah. So it's not good for the consumer in the grand scheme of things or the neighbors themselves.
So do you think the consumers over time will reject this as a potential way to buy and sell a house?
No, I think it's going to end up being almost a new norm. I mean, there's technology out there they're working on where there's essentially a tablet in every single house on a robot, and I could sit here at my desk and allow showings to happen and have conversations with people via that tablet and walk them around the house.
Yep, I've seen those. So would this be something that realtors will use in the future to allow people to unlock the smart boxes and get into houses?
I think so.
We open our MLS access through a nationwide broker portal, but could we also put the same app that we use on a client's phone and then allow them access to the properties and schedule appointments and such, so that really all we're doing is negotiating and research?
Yes, but I think there's a lot of worries there as far as, who are these people coming in? Are they qualified? Are they casing the place? Are they going to destroy it on their way out? Right. You get credit cards, but what if I drop my wallet and somebody stole it?
It could be interesting if it included some kind of monitoring, right? So the buyer had to register, they had to be pre-approved, they had to go through other checks, maybe even let's just pretend an FBI background check, whatever. Let's go ultimate check, right? So they've been checked out, and then they go into the house, and you get some kind of monitoring, where yes, they can go into the house, but they have to have the phone app activated and a FaceTime conversation with the agent or something like that. I can see that happening. Mike Elizabeth Rodell said smart locks, one-time codes, etc.
That's what they're using now. Remember, we have OpenDoor here, and that's what they do. I've gone into them, and they're whatever.
People poop in the toilet and not flush.
And they're like, well, I had to go to the bathroom. So I did my kid had to go to the bathroom, so I did a one-time showing at an OpenDoor house. The water was off, but hey, my kid got to poop. I'm not buying the house, though. My kid pooped in it.
Dusty Martin said, and by higher commission would be, 2 or 3 times more. Yes. Eugene Yavorsky says Zillow is the competitor for realtors and uses our power against us. So smart. Many buyers start searching homes on Zillow. If realtors and NAR and boards are so good, why buyers hate them in common and try to avoid any contacts? Yeah. I'm interested, Eugene, are you a realtor? I think he uses our power against us. Yes, it sounds like he is. So that goes back to what we were saying about the actual National Association of Realtors doing something about this and putting together a technological platform to make it easier for people to have access.
But technology is great when it works. So what happens when the Wi-Fi's out?
He does have a point in saying that if realtors are so good, why aren't people trying to avoid them? I think probably 20-30% of realtors are pretty good. But there's the 70 to 80% that are.
That's a high number.
Phone and yeah, it could be a high number. You're right. Christina says, I think people feel like they get a better deal if they use a service like this.
Right.
Mike Elizabeth Rodell brings up the monitoring. She said, who's monitoring safety? Melissa Mars says they are rough. Christina says, who is staying after they get the house and is in the house closet? Oh, right. Rob people. Yeah. So many scenarios can come from this. Yeah. That's
because there's no one monitoring. When the ones I've gone into anyway, when you open it, you use that code. And it's not a one-time code. That's the code. And they switch it per house. I have checked that. I thought that would be interesting. They didn't, because I just walked up to one. I'm all old code, didn't work. So that's good. Now, Tim's going crazy now. Can you get him?
He's not even watching the show. He just says Clayton is a good-looking addition to the cast.
Yeah, obviously.
It looks.
All right.
No, but so I've gone in and there's no, when you close that door behind you, it's on about a 30-second timer, and then that door locks. So it locks behind you. So there's no monitoring of who opens it and then goes out and it locks again. So you can straight up just stay in the house and then rob people.
Or unlock the window and go back anytime you want. Go have a party that night.
Yeah.
Dusty Martin says, full disclosure, I gave Zillow the bird after 6.5 years of their customer service reps are just complete jerks in the last year or so.
But how long have we been talking about this switch? The last year we've been talking about this switch. Remember, they used to be so sweet and your reps were right there for you. But we've been talking about them going more and more
anti-agent,
even though we helped build, whether you agree with it or not. Now the last year, about that time frame.
Kevin says it all goes back to how we allow anyone with $200.
And this week's shade brought to you by Clayton Fernando Estrems.
The real problem is that agents aren't servicing their clients well enough. So clients are looking elsewhere to go in to see a home. So I think there's only one solution to this, and it's just that we need more agents.
Notice the listeners at home. Notice he shook his head no as he said that. No,
more agents.
We have too many. That's why they're going these routes, because we have too many agents and too many of them are bad. So whenever they talk to 5 agents and they say, "Hey, how's the market?" and they all say, "Oh, it's amazing. You should sell your house," and they end up homeless because they can't find a house. They're not telling the truth. So they don't trust in us. They don't trust in the true professional. You know, like Ray was saying, there's only maybe 20% of us that are actually good.
You know, there should be like
I think it's 5%
group of like all of the agents that are actually good. And maybe we could do something like go by this like code or something like this code of conduct where we're going to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to service our clients really, really well. And we're going to, we're going to abide by these ethics. We're going to do continuing education so that we're continually getting better and better. And together we can differentiate ourselves from all those other people that just call themselves real estate agent. Oh, wait.
Oh, we could have our own website. Oh, wait.
I think, So maybe the original intent of NAR needs to be found. And
the details about this license with Realtor.com needs to be found.
Christina M. Smallhorn says, servicing your client sounds sexy. Maybe agents don't want to be sexy. All right. And on that note, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining the show, Clayton. Clayton, before you leave us, tell everybody where they can find you.
Find me in Houston, Texas, or pretty much anywhere as Cooking Realtor. So I do a little bit of cooking.
Realtor with a C?
With a C. Why would it be with a K?
Well, you know,
people are weird.
You're a Creeltor? Creel.
Thanks for joining the show.
Appreciate you as always.
Thanks, dude.
All righty. And we have one more comment here. Let's see. Andrew Carbajal said, I work in IT for a real estate company. It's so interesting to see how agents used to get so mad when their listing was on Zillow 7+ years ago. Now agents get mad when their listing doesn't show on Zillow in the first few minutes of listing it. That is such a great point.
That's an awesome point.
But it all goes back in the defense of most realtors. It all goes back to the seller's expectations, right? The seller's going to be on them saying, why am I listing on Zillow? And that's why they have to go through the process when it's one that they don't really prefer.
Hey, Ray, can I ask you a question?
Yep. What's that?
What's around your neck, buddy?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Are you ready?
I'm so excited. Look it's got
Is it upside down?
It's upside down.
There you go.
Hey! Oh, they're so good.
The t-shirts are here. The t-shirts are here.
Everyone celebrate. The t-shirts are here.
So Andrew, to my last comment, said true. That's good.
In all caps, true.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. Melissa said it's upside. I know, I fixed it. There it is.
He's just a big fan of Stranger Things. That's all.
I couldn't tell, and because it's black.
So
Very
good.
dark, but it looks cool. This one's wrinkled because it's all been like wrinkled up. But yeah. So the t-shirts are here. So yay. You guys will get a Venmo charge and your shipping notification. So in the next day or so, they're all right here. So we got to take them out, and they've all been sorted. And so now we got to put them in the packaging bag and put the label on it and ship it out. So there you go. Right, the upside down. It's very cool.
He does.
All right, Dan, before we get out of here, would you tell everybody where they can find you?
It can. Before I do that, can I just extend something to you guys? If you don't follow me, go follow me right down there, D Ludwig Rocks, DLUDWIGROCKS. But I just want to say something because we do have a platform and the shirts are out. We really mean it. Just throw some love out in the world, please. It sucks right now on social media, and it sucks for a lot of people that are struggling through a lot of different reasons and a lot of different things. So can you please just throw some love out into the world? Just please. Instead of making that post that says this or that, or that comment that goes against someone, just scroll past it and instead go put out some positive vibes into the world, please. It's just me. We need more. It just feels like I'm freaked out by it. There's not enough love in the world. Like I said, if you do follow me down there, D Ludwig Rocks, I do my best to put funny things out there and love into the world. And I just think we need more of it because people are suffering. And a lot of things that have been made political issues are not. They are human issues, and we need to help each other because we are humans.
There you go. So yes, everybody, I'll echo that. Thanks for supporting those of you who bought the shirts. If you didn't buy the shirts, we could do another round. I need a minimum of 12 orders to do another round of prints. So if you're interested in the shirt, just send me a message. If I get 12, we'll just do another round. So it's
just like everything else, we make $0, but this one goes to a great cause.
Yeah, we're actually so the shirts are $25, and we're giving the stuff over the cost of the shirt away to organizations that help those that are disenfranchised, that are African Americans in our communities. So thanks so much for joining the show. Ray Zorbach is where you can find me on Instagram and all the websites. Even actually, what's that? Twitter. I'm not on Twitter very often, but I am on Twitter as Ray Zorbach. So
I copy and paste my funny statuses from Facebook and post it on Twitter.
To the Twitter.
Yeah.
Most people do it the opposite way. Most people will put a screen capture of their own tweet onto another platform. Like like someone's quoting, which is interesting.
Yeah, but I don't want more followers on Twitter. I think it's a stupid, useless platform that needs to die.
So all of you come to me. All of you follow me.
Right.
So there you go. All right. Thanks, y'all, for joining the show. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Love you guys so much. Thank you. Bye.